Hey everybody, me and some friends were sitting around the other day last week, and we were just talking guns and carrying and all that stuff. And somebody overheard us, and this guy came up and he asked me, "Why do you carry? Why do you carry your gun?" Um, I really didn't have a simple answer to give him, uh, so I just gave him a brief answer. And I thought that would make a good video if you guys can share with me why you carry. And I wanted to tell you in this video the reasons I carry. I carry a gun. Um, I break mine down to pretty much three major factors, three major reasons why I carry. Um, and I'd like to start by giving you the the least important, the third least important. Well, let's put it that way. Um, and that's for personal reasons. Now, I will most likely get a bunch of grief for this because it goes against people's ideas that have enforced their beliefs for years. But I can only talk about what I see to be the reason why I carry a gun. And I wanted to start off by telling you that, and that's the same thing I told the guy, is I don't spend each day feeling unsafe or afraid that something bad is going to happen because your chances of becoming a victim is very low. And a lot of people say have a different view on this because they think that crime happens every day and it's happening to everybody, and that's mainly because of media. But when you look at numbers, and these numbers I could only get concrete numbers from 2009, so I'll be working with them for the purpose of this video. I also believe there are cases that go unreported, so I've rounded the numbers up. Pretty much all the numbers I'll be giving you, I've rounded them up. Um, so in 2009, 34,000 people died due to guns, and those include, homicide, suicide, accidents, pretty much for any reason anybody would die because of a gun. Oh, sorry about that. Um, Pretty much, any other reason they would die. Now, when you consider that in 2009 we had 35 million people in the United States, the relations of gun-related deaths to population, when you do the math, it's 0.01%. Okay, um, relations of death to population is 0.01%. Now, you would have a 0.01% chance of dying if you lived in the United States in 2009. So those are some pretty good chances. I mean, um, if you really think about it. Um, Now, another set of numbers that you should definitely consider is non-death related. How do I put this? Like people who were somehow involved in a gun-related crime but did not die. Let's put it that way. 303,000 people in 2009 were involved in a gun-related crime, but they didn't die. And those crimes are like, robberies, burglaries, assaults, things like that. They were either injured or, they were held up at a gunpoint. So any non-death related crime involving a gun. That's 303,000 people. When you do the math on that in its relation to the population, we're looking at 0.09% of the population. So if we add the two numbers together, our deaths and our non-death gun related crimes, we have 0.1%, 1/10 of a percent. Um, that's less than a quarter of a percent. So our chances of becoming a victim is very low. Now, that being said, because although your chances are very low, there is still a chance. It's still not zero. It's zero point 0.1, so it's still not zero. So that's why I take my gun with me. And when I do carry, I avoid potential danger and confrontation. Now, that doesn't make me a coward, or doesn't make you a coward if you try not to get in trouble, even if you have a gun on you. Um, because personally, I've been in situations where I've had to defend myself or people around me. Those of you who um, watched my Breda 96 review have seen that um, in 2004, I had to defend myself against three guys that broke into my apartment. They basically kicked my door down and came in. I ended up having to shoot one of them in the meaty part of the ass, but that's another story. But I mean, considering all that stuff, you only have 1/10% chance that you will become a victim. So, um, so your chances of becoming a victim is very low. When you look at TV, TV emphasizes everything. Every time you turn on the TV, somebody's dead, shot, robbed, raped, or something like that, and people freak out. But it's really not as bad as the TV says it is. Okay? Now, if you disagree with me, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. And I'd like to hear from you guys. Okay? But just looking at the numbers alone, this is how it is. You can't go based on what TV says or what the media says. If I told you right now that who was more deadly, sharks or pens, what would you say? Everybody most likely say sharks. What's more dangerous, sharks or pens? Well, guess what? Last year in the U.S., pens killed more people than sharks did. In the world, that's even worse. Pens kill a lot more people than sharks do in the world. So um, last year, 12 people died by sharks in the U.S. alone, and 15 died by pens. But what gets more attention? Sharks. More people die because of guns, I mean, because of alcohol and cars than they do by guns. What gets all the attention is the guns. So, my third third least basically reason is personal, for these reasons that I gave you. Now, my second least important reason why I carry is sociological. I want to be part of society that makes a criminal wonder if the next person they're going to assault is going to one that ends their life. If you're the bad guy, I want you to think twice about attacking somebody because they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know if you have a gun or not. Is the next woman or the next guy that I'm going to attack, is he or she the one that's going to kill me? That thought, when that thought runs through a criminal's mind, doesn't matter how high they are, doesn't matter how crazy they are, that self-survival instinct will usually keep them back. Now, there are exceptions here and there, but the majority of them, that doubt will prevent them from attacking you. So, um, and the most really the first reason why I actually went out and got a CCW permit was political. Um, as an American, we have a right to own guns. As Americans, we do have the right to own guns. Now, I don't want to be the guy that beats that drum, um, but we're Americans, and that right was given to us by the Constitution, and that's what's one of the greatest things about this country. Have you guys ever heard of the phrase, if you don't use it, you lose it? Um, if a politician is seeking election or re-election in my region, you better bet that their people will be looking at the numbers of CCW permits in circulation. And I want them to look at the number of people who have CCW permits and know that if they're against gun ownership, they will lose my vote, or at least our vote, people who have CCW permits. So one of the reasons John Kerry lost to Bush, I mean, not looking at the count and recount stuff, which, I mean, once they recounted it, everything was fine. One of the reasons Kerry lost to Bush was because he was against guns, and that's something that's been documented, and politicians definitely know what they're against. So if you're against gun ownership, you're gonna look at number of CCW permits, because that's really the only way to know who has for sure a gun, and they're gonna look at those numbers and they're gonna say, hey, this state has 35, 36, 50,000 CCW permit holders, and I'm against guns. I'm not gonna run in that state because that's 50,000 votes I'm not gonna get. So that's definitely one of my biggest reasons for CCWing is, if I really want them to look at the numbers of people who have CCW permits and know that if they are against gun ownership, they will not get our votes. We need to exercise our rights to make sure we don't lose them. I mean, that's a right that's given to us, and we just gotta make sure we use it so we don't lose it. Plain and simple, really. Uh, there are other reasons, like, police are too slow and this and that, but my top three reasons are those. Um, One is personal, even though I realize that the chances of me becoming a victim are very low. Um, I still carry because, as low as they are, they're not zero. And I still don't put myself in situations where I need to use it. But like I said, even if you take all precautions, the problem or the situation will find you. And like the people that broke into my apartment, and sorry about the phone. Um, and the problem will just find you. So you better be prepared. Have you ever noticed people who get robbed, then they go out and buy car alarms or house alarms? Or if they get burglarized, they go out and buy a gun? Why wait till something bad happened to you and then go out and do it? Why not take precautions and prevent it from happening? So um, that's really my 2 cents on this whole why somebody would carry a gun, um, or why I would carry a gun. Now, I'd love to know what you guys think, what you guys do, why you guys carry, and you know, I love the discussion. I like to hear other people. Um, Oops, my views are definitely not, you know, I'm not saying they're the correct one, but um, they're my views. So if somebody can prove me wrong or prove me wrong, um, I would most definitely listen. So please keep it civil. If I see rude comments, I will remove them. So um, let me know. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, that's about it. All right, guys. See ya.